Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to October 21st, 2023. I think today could be known as the day of the naughty CEOs. In fact, two companies, fairly big companies on the ASX, have seen the share price plunge today because of bad things, naughty things the CEOs have done. And in fact, I will discuss both of these companies when I get to the top five stocks of the day. And to be honest with you, it was an easy choice to have these two companies at number one and number two. Now, apart from these two companies and also maybe one or two negative trading updates, a pretty good day on the market, particularly mining. So we have been led by the mining industry or sector, in particular gold and silver. Another stellar day, gold at all-time highs. In fact, I would assume the gold sector is up between about 2 to 3%. I owned three gold companies and they've all done fantastically well, not only today, but over the last few months, apart from West African. There was that silly thing the Burkina Faso president said, the market overreacted, and I think the share price is now back up to where it was before that. Anyway, so an interesting day in the market, and after I've gone through the ASX today, looking at the best and worst performing sectors, indices and also companies, we'll have a look at that top five stocks of the day. And we are towards the end of quarterly reporting season. And to the companies I will be looking at are companies that released either an Appendix 4C, non-mining company, or an Appendix 5B, a mining company. And I'm hoping both of these companies' share prices are up because I actually do own one of these companies. And I'll talk about that company straight away when I start talking about the top five stocks, because that company has come in at number 5. A few other companies could have made it into my top 5, but fell short. So do better, companies, or management of companies. Now, before we get to the ASX today, I'm just going to go through trading economics and capital brief just to see if I might have missed any sort of interesting news flow. So let's start off with trading economics. For some reason, the top news story today is China lowering LPR rates to fresh record lows. So that's 1-year loan prime rates. Malaysia third quarter GDP growth eases to 5.3%. Well, just imagine if Australia had GDP growth of 5.3%. So there are countries out there that are growing quite quickly. Malaysia is one of them. Oil rises after sharp decline. In fact, Capital Brief, there was a nice little article about oil rising on increasing Middle East tensions. And I'm pretty sure there's been Middle East tensions there for about 57 years, but they're rising now, apparently. And what else? Let's go back to trading economics. Gold hits new record high. Seems like it's been doing that every single day. And Bitcoin approaches $70,000, which is a key level for me. And interesting, I've just noticed this week ahead. This is a significant week in America for the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, because the earnings season will continue with major companies such as Tesla, Coca-Cola, 3M, General Motors, and Verizon unveiling their quarter reports. So a lot of interest will be on Tesla, and a lot of my interest will be on 3M because I actually do own shares in that company. Now let's have a look at Capital Brief just to see if there's been any news flow that I might have missed today, which is definitely possible. Don't care about the king, don't care about royalty at all, zero care factor. I've already mentioned oil, don't care about Matt Staten, CEO of Nine. Mineral resources shares sell off overdone, says RBC Analysis. That could be true. Share price has fallen a lot today, and I'll talk about MinRes towards the end of the video. Felix shares fall as Morningstar calls market too optimistic on Illusive sales. I won't mention that at all, and I don't really care what these analyses say because they can be wrong. In fact, they're wrong a lot of the times. China cuts bank lending rates to boost economy. Big Tin Can, don't care about that one. West African Resources and Bellevue Gold lead ASX gold surge. So I'm a shareholder of West African Resources, and I'm pretty sure the share price is back up to where it was before that Burkina Faso president debacle a few weeks ago. BHP shares rally as it nears Fundo Dam settlement. Could be rallying because of other reasons, maybe because of iron ore prices. Amotiv shares rise on mixed quarter one update. Share buyback. Did not make it into my top 5. Maybe that's a mistake. And South 32, they did release their quarterly results or quarterly update. Shows lower on mixed quarter. There we have City Upgrades, EVT shares to buy. Don't know why. And WiseTech shares plunge as company investigates CEO allegations. And that will be one of the companies that I'm featuring in my top 5 stocks of the day. In fact, number 1 stock of the day. And there's Bellevue Gold, another company that has made it in my top 5. And weak trading updates drag on Nick Scali's shares. In fact, Nick Scali made it to my top 5 as well. So by now, you should know what my top 5 stocks of the day are. ANZ earnings outlook weaker than peers, Morgan Stanley. And funny enough, I would say ANZ is by far the weakest, not the weakest, by far the cheapest of the 4 big banks. And if I had to buy a bank, if someone had a gun to my head to buy one of the banks, I'd probably buy ANZ just because it's cheaper. Anyway, let's get to the ASX today. Pretty good day in the market. Now let's have a look at sectors. I would not be surprised if information technology sector, I think that's what they call it, is down between 1% and 2%. Would not be surprised to see gold sector up, or indice up between 2% and 3%. Not the sector, the indice up between 2% and 3%. And let's see how right I am. So really good day in the markets. And there's IT, in fact, down 2.8%. So that's driven primarily because of WiseTech. Now, I'm not sure how much WiseTech is down. It is down a fair bit. And let's have a look at this particular sector to see if by market cap. And there it is. WiseTech is down 14%. It's interesting that the market is, I would say, panicking a little bit. But other than WiseTech, we're just seeing lots of green there. So, yeah, without doubt, the whole reason this particular sector is down is because of WiseTech. You can just see one company, particularly the biggest company in this sector, has a bad day, and that drives the rest of the sector down. So don't really have to discuss that anymore. And every single sector is up, even though industrial staples up a little bit, telecommunications as well, but healthcare, discretionary, real estate, energy, materials, all up by over 1%. And if we turn our attention to indices, gold up 3.67%. I knew it was going to be up, but not that much. So more than likely, my 3 gold companies I do own, whoops, got to have to log in. The 3 companies I do own, let's have a look. West African Resources. And at this point in time, you can't go wrong owning gold stocks. What's the other one? Auric Mining, 4.23, and Bellevue. I bought Bellevue because it looks pretty cheap. And I actually thought they might have been up a little bit more than that. Anyway, that's okay. And let's go back to the market. And where's the ASX 20? Up 0.94%. What a great day on the ASX today after the bad day on Friday. So you go from having bad thoughts to having really good thoughts in consecutive trading days. I would say 18 companies up, 2 down. Oh, well, 5 down. That's interesting. And which ones are down? Well, WiseTech, naturally enough. Transurban, Telstra, Brambles, and ANZ. I wonder if ANZ is down because of that negative little report from Morgan Stanley, which again, I don't understand why people buy and sell, because Morgan Stanley says the outlook's weaker for this bank. They could be wrong. I'd say more than likely they are wrong. I just understand why people don't do or make their own decisions. It's one of those things that I personally just don't understand. Anyway, I think you just empower yourself to make decisions. And that way, you can blame yourself if you make the bad decision, or praise yourself if you make the right decision. Now, the best performing companies, we have many companies up over 1%. In fact, between 1% and 2%. Aristocrat, the best performer, up 1.94%, and Rio Tinto up 1.88%, and Goodman Group coming in number 3, up 1.83%. Okay, so let's get to the best and worst performing companies on the ASX. This is what I like the best in doing these videos, the top gainers and top losers, particularly if I haven't had a look at it yet, because sometimes I will get a nice surprise, and hopefully that will happen today. Top gainers, by percentage change, we have a company called Yandal Resources, a company I'm not sure I've ever heard before. Not that small, it has a market cap of 57.58. So some people might say, what are you saying? It's not small. That's a micro cap. I consider any company above $10 million not to be small. If I owned a company that was above $10 million, I would not consider it small. So when some people say, well, has a market cap of $500 million, it's a small cap. What? That's not small. Anyhow, I would assume, based off the turnover and the share price rally, Yandal must have released something positive. I think this is almost an absolute certainty. If they didn't, then they would be receiving a price query from the ASX. And let's have a look at what they released. And RC drilling returned 78 meters at 1.2 grams per ton from New England granite. That's actually pretty good. Now, if that grade was a little bit higher, say 2 grams per ton, that would be absolutely brilliant. I'm not going to have a look at this or open up this announcement. So let's just have a look at the chart. So drilling results can be a company making announcement for any company. Well, maybe not any company, but any mining company. And if you have a look at the chart for Yandal, the one-day candlestick is good. This is the sort of one-day candlestick I'm looking for. Solid green, share price opening at the low of the day and closing at the high, which tells us that the buying or the enthusiasm of the buyers is just overwhelming the enthusiasm of the sellers. That's exactly what we want to see. The reverse, a red candlestick, is the exact opposite. The enthusiasm of the sellers is overwhelming the enthusiasm of the buyers. Not only that, and one of the reasons why we're not seeing much enthusiasm from the sellers is because the share price is at a multi-year high, it looks like. The last time the share price got into this zone was way back in 2022. Now, the share price was in a long-term downtrend until about this time last year, and the share price was trying to move into an uptrend. Not a lot of volume, some spikes in volume, but that could be just fund managers. And then finally today, share price has taken off. So nice chart for Yandal Resources. Put this into my high volume spec. Now let's get back to the top gainers. Terramin. Okay, volume. Let's have a quick look at Terramin, TZN. And re-establish finance facility. No announcements today. So, in fact, I'm going to move on. Actually, no, let's just have a look at the chart quickly. Terramin. This one's interesting. So, no significant announcement from the company. Yet the share price has absolutely taken off. Now, the last time this happened was back in November last year, and then the share price just dropped. There was one day, although the volume is big, there's a big difference. There was very little volume back then, massive volume coming through now. Not sure what's leading to this excitement, but something's happening. Something is causing the market to get excited. It could be just day traders. Now, coming just behind these two companies, we have a company called TZ Limited, TZL. They have made an acquisition. I actually did see this announcement, and I didn't even put into my possibilities. They have acquired, if I remember correctly, I remember seeing one word here. They also released their Appendix 4C. So I can actually have a look at that. So they acquired a high margin prop tech company, Key Vision. I actually did have a look at this because I am attracted to high margin. That's all I cared about there. High margin prop tech. That's all I cared about. I did open it up. It's a fairly small company, I'll be honest with you. So the rest of TZ Limited has about $6 million of revenue, and I am just boring. I'm just accessing, trying to access my mind, my memory, but I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look. TZ's annual recurring revenue for calendar 2025 is expected to be approximately $5 million, TZ $4 million, and Key Vision circa $1.2 million. So it's not a very big company, but the thing that attracts me to this sort of announcement is just high margin. And they probably know that too, the management. Now, TZ Limited is a company I've been following for a long time. They've never done anything. They just haven't done anything. I've never been excited. Whenever they release their Appendix 4C, I have a quick look, then move on to the next one. And this is another case where they had $3.8 million of receipts and the operating cash flow positive by $176,000. And with a bit of intellectual property and capital expenditure there, we'll say free cash flow positive by a very small amount. But this company has never excited me. Maybe I'm a little bit more excited now just because of this acquisition. But even that Key Vision, whatever it's called, is fairly small. So let's have a look at the chart for TZL or TZ Limited. And I don't think this. Oh, geez. I was going to say I don't think the chart's going to look any good, and that would have been true a week ago. And share price has gone bonkers in the last 5 or 6 trading days. It's gone from 2 cents to 6.8. Have they released anything else? This is just a case of they did receive a price query. I wonder if there was a bit of loose lips, a bit of talking, a bit of chatter about maybe this acquisition or something else about the company, and the share price has just taken off. I'm a little bit wary when I see charts like this. Share price suddenly taken off because you could get some profit taking any day now, and the share price could plunge all the way back down to 3-4 cents. Sun Silver, pretty good day because of silver. Vection Technologies. This is another one, a fairly small company, 15. This is a company I am following, sort of like a virtual reality, augmented reality, something like that, up 30%. And they did unveil an AI platform with Dell. Talk about name dropping with Dell. That's all you have to know. Unveil AI platform with Dell. Will this be successful? No idea, but they've name dropped, and share price is up, although it's at a low base, 1 cent, now it's 1.3 cents. And I have a feeling this chart is not going to look good. Share price of this company was well over 10 cents not that long ago. And in fact, today, even though the share price is up 30%, at one point today, the share price was up 80%. Got to 1.8 cents, now it's 1.3. And the whole reason why we have seen selling is, if you're owning this, if you are share on with this, of this company, and you saw the share price up 80% today, you're getting out. And that's why there has been a fair bit of selling today. Massive volume coming through. But there's just, chart looks horrendous. This could be the end of the downtrend, maybe, just maybe this point, but it's probably a little bit too early. And the best way for this company to end the downtrend is to release a positive Appendix 4C. Well, maybe another one. They have released a few positive Appendix 4Cs in the past year, but I think they need to release at least one more. And plenty of gold companies here. One copper company, 29 metals. And let's have a look by market cap. See if there's any surprises here. Amotiv, share price up 10%. This should have been in my top 5 stocks. I didn't really think the share price would rally that amount. Now, this company did have their AGM, and a lot of times the company will announce some sort of trading update. There's nothing like that. All there was a 2024 annual general meeting slides, and that's it. So I'm wondering if there was a trading update within this, even though they didn't mention it in the title. And if it was a positive trading update, why would you not mention it in the title? AGM presentation slides plus positive trading update. Although they probably didn't have to do that because the share price is up a fair bit. I'm just going to have a very quick look. This company changed the name from, was it GUD? I think it was GUD. There we go, trading update. This is the first time I've looked at it. Consistent with the update provided the financial year 24 result, trading conditions remain mixed. Okay. In line with future expectations, future growth in group revenue and underlying EBITDA is expected in 25. Okay, so there's nothing overly positive I'm seeing here, but not anything negative as well. So let's have a look at the chart for Amotiv. And an interesting chart. It's a bit of wave, a very choppy action from about April this year, up and down, but generally going down. And then all of a sudden, today up to $11. Not quite a breakout, very close to being breakout for Amotiv. Other than that, we have gold companies, copper, gold, lithium, silver, gold, silver, uranium, not sure, gold, Titomic, another good day, Big Ten can, something about they're merging with another company listing on the NASDAQ, silver, image resources, I'm pretty sure they're image resources. Is it rare earths or mineral sands? I can't remember. And silver. Okay. Let's get to the top losers today. And a company called Income Asset Management Group. Share price down 55.7% on $1,500 of turnover. Someone just had to get out today and sell their shares at a loss of 55 points, or not, maybe not a loss of 55.7, but in itself, that's interesting that someone was willing to do that. I find that weird. I find that, why would you do that? Now, in saying that, they did do a capital raising today. So, but not a lot of people were selling. So let's have a look. So there was one trade in the closing auction that sent the share price down 55.7%. Someone just had to sell their 42,857 shares at a value of $1,500. So originally it was a value of whatever, $3,000. So they lost $1,500 just by being impatient. Now, in saying that, if you have a look at the buyers and sellers, no one wants to buy shares in this company. In fact, there's a chance that the next trade, the share price will be down even further. Everyone wants to just get out. This is a problem with these sort of companies, that if they release anything negative or do a capital raising, maybe at a discount, the share price will tank. And let's have a look at the chart for IAM. And the chart looks pretty bad as well. Share price has dropped a lot. It's dropped from $23 to $3.05. No, 23 cents to 3.5 cents, not dollars. North Starwell Minerals. Oh, Keely Resources. Okay, that's interesting because this company did release some sort of update or drilling results or something. And this had been a bit of a market darling, maybe not a market darling, but a day trading darling, down 42%. So obviously the thing they released today was quite negative. So drilling confirms large-scale a gold and copper system. Obviously the market said, we don't like this at all. And the share price has collapsed. Now, the share price or the chart looked pretty good until today. Today was probably today was the day to get out if you're just trading it, because chart looked pretty good, bit of volatility there, but it was moving in the right direction, and then today happened. And that is the risk you take with these sort of companies. Other than that, Pro Packaging, I don't really care about a lot of these companies because they've been trading on fairly low turnover. So what's been driving the share price down is just a bit of noise. There's WiseTech. Cardno, I'm pretty sure that company is delisting. I have a feeling this company's delisting. Yep, proposed voluntary delisting. Share price always falls when that happens. And I would say maybe one of the reasons they're delisting, I have no idea, because it's undervalued. That's the main reason they delist. It's undervalued, and the share price falls even further. It happens a lot. And Comply FinTech. They did release something about fairly low turnover. Now let's have a look by market cap. And at the top of this list, we're going to have WiseTech and Min Resources. Levisa are down again. Not sure what's happening there. I'm pretty sure they did not release anything today. No, I wouldn't say it's noise, but something's negative's happening there. EZZ, another bad day, up and down. Biome again. So that's sort of two Chinese-related stocks, down a fair bit, but you'll see the share price of these companies go up and down. And I still have to mention, I took profits on EZZ at $4.60. I didn't sell completely, but I took some profits. And Clover Corporation, I was actually looking at this company the other day. The chart for this company was looking intriguing or interesting, but it had run up a fair bit in a fairly short period of time, and I was thinking, well, maybe the share price will pull back, and maybe today's the day. Yeah, they did release something really positive. On the 24th of September, share price took off, and then I was just waiting for maybe a down day, and today's that day. Okay, so let's get to the top 5 stocks of the day. A few companies did not make it. We're talking about Vection Technologies, or wherever it's that VR company is. Generation GDG, Generation Development Group, I think. Up 5.3% on a September quarter update. We also had Vulcan Steel, did not quite make it. Sorry, Vulcan Steel, although the share price hasn't moved. We already talked about Amotiv. AccuSensus had a new contract win, up 10%. WA multi-function contract. South 32, Quick Fee, Credit, Clear, did have an update as well. Share price hasn't moved all that much. Sales update. Okay, and also the Appendix 4C's released today. We include Love Group, whatever. The company talking to about Hazer, Sovereign something Cloud, LV1, which is Live Verdue or something. Live Verdue, I forget. Live Verdue, and then TZ Limited. Okay, so let's get to the top 5 stocks of the day. Starting at number 5, we have Bellevue Gold. Now, I'm thinking, I actually thought the share price might be higher because some of the other gold companies' share price was higher, but I did actually see there was actually mention in here. There it is. So Bellevue Gold shares rise as first quarter costs, cash flow beat consensus. So cash flow beat consensus is a good thing. So this company actually performed better than the market. So because gold had a really good day, I just thought Bellevue Gold share price would be up more. Now, I suppose gold sector or the indice was up only 3.3%. So Bellevue Gold did beat the overall market, but I'm sort of comparing it to West African Resources, which was up 7%. Anyway, Bellevue Gold. This company releases a quarterly activities report and a quarterly cash flow report. Sometimes companies put these two reports together. I hate that. I do prefer these two reports to be separate because I only focus on the quarterly cash flow report. And the reason I like these reports separate is because when you open up the document, it goes straight to what I want to look at. Sometimes these mining companies have 40 pages of maybe not nonsense, but of their activities. And then they get to the quarterly cash flow report. I want to open up the document and go straight to the numbers. I'm all about the numbers. So Bellevue Gold, $124 million of receipts in the quarter. Operating cash flow positive, 51.4 million. Now, spending a little bit of money on capital expenditure, exploration, and evaluation, but still, free cash flow positive by $38 million for the quarter, maybe a little bit less than that. They also have mine properties in development. So overall, the cash on hand didn't increase all that much. In fact, it fell. Why did it fall? And I can tell you right now, transaction costs, because of debt raising, looks like. Oh, that's proceeds from a capital raising. That's not cash. So cash on hand definitely increased a significant amount because they did capital raising. Not sure they really needed to do that. So cash on hand is at $200 million. Obviously, they shouldn't have any debt. Well, they do. They have $212 million of debt. Okay, that shows you how much I know a company I am trading right now. So a bit of debt, but a lot of cash. So virtually debt-free, or only net debt about $12 million. So that's not significant for this type of company. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go back to the previous Appendix 4C just to see how much, here it is, just to see how much production has increased. Now, you might be able to see this in the activities report, but I'm trying to see. In fact, if you compare these two, so there's a little bit more receipts in the previous quarter and a little bit more cash flow as well. But that's just comparing, in a way, apples to oranges. Now, what I'm going to do now is have a look at the activities report. What I should do, even though I probably don't have time to do this. Oh, this is going to take ages because it's my computer font for some reason is really slow right now. You just see it. It's just doesn't want to, hasn't woken up. Hasn't been worked today, just doesn't want to open up. BGL. So what I'm going to do is go to the cash receipts history of Bellevue Gold. And okay, so we've seen the cash receipts increase from 49 million to 98 million to 140 million. And then this particular quarter was 125 million. So over the last 3 or 4 quarters, cash receipts have grown. Okay, so that's the main thing. I just want to have a look at that really quickly. Now onto the chart. And why did I buy some shares in this company? Now, they did the capital raising, I remember now, because the share price fell a lot. Market didn't like this capital raising. That's why the share price just collapsed. Now, before this capital raising, the share price was in a beautiful uptrend. And then the share price fell all the way down to about $1.10. So the market was, in a way, really overreacting. And since that low, the share price has taken off. So I thought the market had overreacted. There's a potential the share price or the valuation on this company was quite low. So I do like that when I see share price starting to turn up. So this was a buy for me, just based off the chart, even though it's not the best looking chart because of this dip in share price. But I thought value, share price is starting to turn, sentiment is turning as well. So that brief period of negative sentiment did not last very long. So a pretty good day for Bellevue Gold. Coming in at number 5, not quite back up to the levels it was before the capital raising, but it's getting close. And I would expect eventually the share price of this company to get back above $2. Not sure when that's going to be. Could be next month. It also depends on the price of gold. Could be next month, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years from now. Anyway, so that's Bellevue Gold. Now, coming in number 4, we have a company I have never had a look at. It's called Felix Group. Felix Group, share price up 12.8% on their Appendix 4C. So let's have a look. Actually, before we have a look at their Appendix 4C or their quarterly cash flow, let's go back to my little spreadsheet and just see the cash receipts history of this company. Now, not in a graph, but just a little table. So this company, in fact, I'm just going to zoom in. Actually, I can't zoom in there. Zoom in here. There should be some zoom in thing here somewhere. There's a zoom in. I have no idea. View. Here we go. Zoom in 200. All right, so cash receipts of Felix Group go from 742,000, 755, 1.4, 1.3, 1.2, 894, 1 million, 1.9, 1.9, 1.3, 2.6, 2.6, 1.7, and then 1.8 in the June quarter. So cash receipts are growing, but they're not in a straight line. But the main thing here is cash receipts are growing. So what's the sort of cash receipts I might expect or want in this particular quarter? I would want cash receipts to be up over 2.6 million. Now, the reason behind that is last October or September quarter, they had cash receipts of 2.557 million. So let's have a look at Felix's Group's cash receipts for this quarter. Now, there's one reason why this company is in my top 5 stocks of the day, and this is the reason. Cash receipts, 3.6 million. So actually quite a bit higher than what I at least would want. So 2.5 million. But the most important thing here is the company is operating cash flow positive. Not only that, they are free cash flow positive as well. This could be an inflection point for Felix Group. Now, I don't know what this company does. I've never had a look because they've been burning through cash. So Felix operates a cloud-based enterprise software as a service. This is a SaaS company. There you go. Procurement, management platform, and vendor marketplace. They connect contractors and third-party vendors by digitizing, automating, and streamlining a range of critical procurement-related business processes. Okay. Now, if we go back to the commentary, they even mentioned maiden quarter of positive operating cash flows in the first quarter. That is the key highlight. So it's important to them, and well, it's important to me. It's important to management, obviously, because that's their key highlight. The first highlight section they wanted to mention to you because it's important. Maiden quarter of positive operating cash flow. They probably should have put maiden quarter of positive operating and free cash flow because that's absolutely true. And then they go through some other things, signing new customers, talking about ARR, that sort of thing. Okay, so let's have a look at the chart. This could be even more interesting if we have an interesting chart. I would be interested here. And this is starting to look interesting. So Felix Group, not a lot of interest in the market. Share price gradually going down. There was a little bit of interest late 2021, early 2022. Share price hit a bit of a floor back in this time last year at a share price of about 7 to 8 cents. Share price then rallied. Not a lot of volume. It's one little thing I'd like to see more of, volume. But today's share price has got to 22 cents, which is a bit of a resistance, but not a strong resistance. Share price did get to these levels back in February, March of this year. So the share price is about to get to a multi-year high. So the chart looks okay. Probably the only thing I would like to see is a little bit more volume Okay volume today, but not massive. How many trades was there today? Let's have a look. Doesn't say here. And if we go back to the trade history, yeah, some days there's not much trading with Felix. So 10,000 shares on the 17th. In fact, some days there's no trades at all. So there is a bit of illiquidity here, but you know what can solve illiquidity issues? You just keep hitting your results, your financial results out the park. And maybe Felix is on or going down that direction. Okay, so that's Felix Group. I might actually do a standalone video on Felix Group. I've already set up BSA. Now I'm going to put Felix Group down as well. I think it deserves. I don't think I've done a video on Felix Group. Okay, from a good news story to 3 negative news stories. First one is Scali. Now the share price was down a little bit more than 4.1%. In fact, it opened at $13.99, panicking. Got to a low of $13.80. It closed at $14.50. So we did see a little bit of buying coming through the day. Not sure when, because the high was $14.85. So that's actually, the candlestick's not going to look too bad. Now, Scali did have that AGM, and they also, you can see, trading update, which is what Amotiv should have done. Anyway, so I am a shareholder of Scali. So I did pay attention to this. I don't care about the address. Don't care about how they performed in last year. That's the past. I only care about the future. And let's have a look. I wish this was better. Where is it? Okay. Okay. So it's here. It's just, I wish they just organized this a little bit better. That's my one complaint. It should have been organized better. Maybe they have a presentation. No. I'm not going to say nasty announcement, but they could have done it better. They could have done a presentation or something like that. Anyway, so it started off pretty good. This is a trading update. So that's the other thing I just don't like. There's just no titles for any sections. So you actually have to look for the trading update. So they mentioned, I will now turn to your attention to recent trading. So it actually did sound initially good. Written sales orders for the first 4 months during September have increased 3%. So that sounded positive until we got to the point, 2 paragraphs down, materially higher unexpected freight rates. And I went, oh God, oh no, are expected to impact our gross profit margins. So I like margins. Margins are very important, particularly in the second quarter. We are now expect the gross profit margins for the first half to be down 240 basis points or more compared to financial year 24 gross margins of 66%. So we're talking about gross margins of, what was that, 63.6%. That's not a good thing moving forward. You don't want to see companies' gross margins dropping. So just because it's dropped, or looks like it might drop this financial year, doesn't mean there is a trend there. But Scali's management don't want to see this trend continue. Following the significant increase in freight and subject to any unforeseen shipping delays, we currently expect our profit in the first half to be in the range of 30 to 33 million. I'm wondering if they gave any forecast previously and if that was a downgrade. Now, I can't remember that. But the main thing here is gross margins down, and that could affect the performance of the company. And maybe that's why profit might be down. I'm not sure. Anyway, forecast profit, not actual profit, forecast profit. So the market didn't like it, obviously so, irrationally so. But let's have a little chart. Now, yeah, so this one-day candlestick is actually not that bad. So the share price actually closed nearer the high of the day than the low. So the share price did rise during the day. In fact, if we have a look at the 5-minute chart, you better see that the low of the day more than likely was near open. Yeah, right on open. In fact, probably within the first minute of opening, the share price had reached its low. Yep, in that first minute. Yep. And there was a little bit of selling early in the afternoon, and then a nice little rally towards the end of the day. Now, funny enough, the high in the day was at 9:12, so about 6 minutes after opening. Imagine selling at $13.99. Actually, imagine selling at $13.80, which was the low, and then seeing the share price rise back up to $14.90. That's what happened in the first 6 minutes of trading. A lot of volatility in that first, say, 20 minutes. Found a bit of a floor, and then there's a little bit of a dip in the early afternoon, and the share price did rally towards the end. Other than that, the daily chart, yeah, this could be the end of the downtrend, or the uptrend, I mean. But yeah, what can you say? I'm more in Nick Scali. The whole reason I bought Nick Scali was more for the long term, not for the short term. But I am wondering if I should change the way I trade even my high quality companies. Nick Scali coming in number 3 had a not as bad a day as actually I was expecting, but you do know who had a bad day? Mineral Resources. MinRes down 13.8%. Now, funny enough, I saw one Facebook post. Mineral Resources down over 10% on sustainability report. Like, what? They did release a 232-page sustainability report, but they also released Appendix 4G, a corporate governance statement, and the annual report. So I'm not sure where they got that little bit of information. Share price was down on the sustainability report. It was an interesting comment. No. Statement in response to recent media reports. Okay. I actually did have to Google this one because I don't really read that sort of thing. So this was me Googling Chris Ellison and tax evasion. So MinRes board investigating Ellison's alleged tax evasion. So apparently there was an AFR article yesterday. Tax evasion. That's not a good thing. You don't want to evade tax. I'm not sure how long ago this was. Haven't delved too deeply into it. This was in regards to Chris Ellison's, one of his companies he owns, investigating tax or investigating revelations that Managing Director Chris Ellison operated an offshore tax evasion scheme that the group's billionaire founder described on Sunday as a serious lapse of judgment. You're a billionaire, and I'm assuming this must have been quite a few years ago. But you're a billionaire. Why are you trying to evade tax? You've got a lot of money. I don't understand. While billionaires try to evade tax, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. That's just me personally. If I was a billionaire, pay as much tax as you want, I would do that. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, so apparently, the other thing I read that because he admitted, okay, here it is, in 2003. So we're talking about 20 years ago. I did read somewhere where because he's come forward, he's only going to have to pay like 20% of the bill or the fine or something like that. Not sure if that's true, but I did read that somewhere. Lapse of judgment, no duh. Now, this is a sort of situation that the market doesn't like. I can't believe I can read this whole article. Usually AFR doesn't let you do that. Anyway, I should read this a little bit more. Here we go. On Saturday, Chris Ellison's offshore secret. Now, I don't know if what I read is true, that he won't have to pay much of the fine because he's revealed this to the ATO, but this sounds pretty silly. Now, the market doesn't like surprises. They don't like increased risk. So whenever this happens to a company, the share price will drop. And I actually do agree in a way with whoever said the market is overreacting. RBC. I think that's probably true because a lot of people will sell first and ask questions later. And I think if the market is overreacting, not if the market, if iron ore and lithium don't plunge, today could be a good day to buy, or maybe tomorrow. Now, a couple of things, looking at the chart, not the best looking one-day candlestick. In fact, it's a fairly negative one-day candlestick. Share price closed near the low of the day. Pretty big volume coming in. But, I mean, look at the volatility in MinRes over the past few months. Down as low as 30, bounced all the way back up to 54, now back down to 39.55. Yeah, good luck. So I do own shares in MinRes, but I don't really want to sell at all right now. And this sort of news will not push me to sell. It could be nothing in the long run. In 5 years, we could completely forget. Now, one of the risks, I suppose, is that Chris Ellison will be let go as a managing director of MinRes. Will that happen? I'm not sure, because Chris Ellison is he's a beloved managing director. He's well thought of, very well thought of managing director. So he's made a mistake. Now, it's a stupid mistake. Didn't really have to do it, in my opinion. He's a billionaire. He's really rich. Doesn't have to do that sort of thing. Anyway, so is the market overreacting? Is now time to buy MinRes? It's up to you. I don't know. Now to WiseTech. Who had the worst day, WiseTech or MinRes? And it's WiseTech, down 14.6%. They released response to media reports. This one is interesting. This one, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of ambiguity when it comes to what's happened with Richard White, who is the CEO. I'm pretty sure he's the founder of this company as well. Anyway, where is it? Actually, it doesn't mention it here. Just saying there's some media reports out there. So let's go and Google. What's his name again? I forget. White, Barry. I just want to say Barry White. I knew it wasn't Barry. Richard White. Okay. Trying to remember where. Maybe I'll just look at Capital Brief. So this is in regards to a sexual partner making some allegations of Richard White that he may or did some inappropriate behavior. What the heck is inappropriate behavior? Did he have an affair? That's inappropriate behavior. Who knows? Maybe this sexual partner is a prude, and maybe even pleasuring himself is considered inappropriate behavior. That's the one thing I took away from this. Yeah, here it is. Australian Financial Review, the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age reported that a woman who had a sexual relationship with White made a series of damaging claims about the billionaire in late 2020 that included allegations he engaged in inappropriate behavior. What the heck is that? It can't be that bad because she didn't take any legal action against him. In fact, maybe he didn't do anything and this was just blackmail. Maybe not blackmail, but this was someone who, like a gold digger, who just wanted some money from Richard White when the relationship ended. I just don't know. It's just a lot of ambiguity around this. I would like to see if there's any more information in any of these articles. I don't know. Let's have a look at Sydney Morning Herald. Probably won't be able to read this. Oh, we can. Yeah, again, inappropriate behavior. I want to know what's inappropriate. It says into serious allegations of inappropriate behavior. But what is it could be anything. That's what I'm thinking. It just could be anything. It's so ambiguous what it is. But again, the main thing is the market doesn't like this sort of uncertainty. The market hates increased risk. And right now, WiseTech has this increased risk. What's going to happen to Richard White? Or maybe if these inappropriate behaviors are really bad, maybe he gets sent to jail. We just don't know. And that's why the share price has sold off, because we just don't know. I did notice the few days leading up to this, the share price did fall a fair bit. So it fell 3% on Thursday, another 3%, or almost 4% on Friday. Not suspicious, but I do have my questions. Now, funny enough, the share price of WiseTech is at a really interesting level. It's at a support level. So it doesn't want to fall below $100. If it falls below $100, that would be a negative sign moving forward. Notice also the increase in volume leading up to this day. So that also increases my thoughts that maybe there was some loose lips again when it comes to WiseTech and these allegations against Richard White. But again, ambiguous. I just don't know. I have no idea what to think. It could be really, really bad. It could be just nothing. Could be absolutely nothing, and those selling today will be kicking themselves in the future. Okay, I'm running a little bit behind time. I need to end this video right now. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.